Hey, I found a cool place to go. We can run or we can take it slow. Won't you come with me? Completely off topic. Mama said I never make it big. Well, Mama, I don't really feel that way. Won't you come with me? Completely off topic. Oh, ain't it nice to be completely off topic?
Hi, thanks so much for joining us. This is Completely Off Topic with Susan and Meg, where we talk to Calgary-based female artists about their body of work that they create. Today we have with us a Calgary-based female filmmaker, director, writer. It's Sandy Summers. Sandy, we're so happy to have you with us today. I know that you're brilliant. I've seen your work, and I really want to know what it's like to grow up in Cape Breton.
It's great growing up in Cape Breton.
Yeah?
It's so lovely. Like, I grew up in Sydney, the biggest city there.
I've been to Sydney.
Have you been to Sydney?
I used to work on a cruise ship, and we docked in Sydney, and it was the first time I'd been back to Canada for over a year, and I was like, what are you talking about? Because it was so tiny, and I've never been to an East Coast city that was so tiny.
East Coast is great. Did you see the big fiddle when you landed there, or was that before or after?
I was 2003.
Fiddle might have been there on the harbor. Have you seen the fiddle?
Yes, because I was traveling on a cruise.
Oh,
and
no!
That's how I got there, but that would have been like 2010. And
It's not the
yes,
same one.
the fiddle was there.
Actually, the great thing about growing up in Cape Breton is that you could go to so many places that are so different. Like, you could just like go to PEI. You can like take a ferry over to Newfoundland. You can go down to we camped everywhere all the time. A lot of camping. Actually, growing up, I just camped anyway. We did have a house, but I was always in the back of it camping. We did have a house. I did not grow up in a tent, but I feel like I grew up in a tent because you can tent anywhere. It's so lovely. Yeah. When we were kids, my mom used to take us on a bus out to the Myra so we could go swimming. Like, we just did that all the time.
On a bus? Like, do you mean like a city bus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, does she just rent a bus and take you?
No, like a wheels on the bus go round and round bus.
Yeah.
And then I moved out here. And I went, there's no water. And then someone said to me, okay, first time I ever heard, there's a lake, it's man-made. I thought they were pulling my leg. And I went, who makes a lake? I literally thought they were pulling my leg for years.
Yeah.
And then I realized, no.
Did you go to it's Lake Sakoma you're talking
Yeah,
about?
I went there. And I didn't understand anything. I actually didn't understand anything. And then people are saying, well, you must love the mountains. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's like a big rock. But I didn't get it because, growing up with water everywhere, you just know how to deal with water.
Yeah.
But when coming out here, it's just like, it's a painting, right? Like, what do you do with a mountain?
Yes.
Okay, but then someone took me, like mountain climbing and hiking and cycling, and I went, okay. And then after about a decade, I got it.
Yeah.
But I still like water.
Yeah.
Like, my house used to look over into a steel plant, but around that steel plant was water.
Yeah.
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 I grew up in the pier, which was the kind of the place where everyone from outside of Canada would come and live to work.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you get it with the mountains. What do you mean by you get it?
Oh, that it's just, they're not just something to look at. That you could actually like go into them
Right.
and do something in them and have it be nature.
Right.
And have it have its own culture as opposed to the water culture.
It's so different, right?
It's super different, but I
Yeah.
love it. I love living here. I really love living here, but I love going home too.
We used to go up to Candle Lake, Saskatchewan every summer, and that was our water. That was me like being like, we are water people right now. And it's literally a small lake in the middle of the prairies, northern Saskatchewan. And I would just be like, wow, I love the water. And I'd be a little bit scared because you go in a bit and I'd just picture like Jaws and stuff like that. But I was born here in Calgary, so it's like I have no water culture. And when I worked on cruise ships, I was just like, there's water everywhere. And I loved it. And I loved my skin and my nails. And like, there's so many things that are like a bonus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my family's from Manitoba, so we go to Lake Winnipeg. So that was our water. So we spent like so much time there, but it's not the ocean. Like it's very different. It's a huge lake, but it's not the ocean.
Yeah.
But I have older sisters who were like, there's sharks in this water, and made me watch Jaws as a little child.
Aww.
So I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad. So then I got kicked out of swimming lessons because I was like, there's sharks in the pool and everywhere.
I thought that too.
Yeah.
I have to look at the pool for like a good, like, make sure, like, scan to make sure there wasn't even like invisible sharks, like ones that kind of looked wonky in the water.
Or just could materialize.
Yeah.
So I think that fear maybe is stronger in landlocked children.
Yes. Oh my God, there's another thing that we can check a box for in your identity. I'm a landlocked child.
Yeah, I would say so, because I don't think about that going into a lake or a pool. Now, I do think about leeches.
Right, okay,
Like leeches.
Is it Stand By Me, the movie? Where they all get into a lake and they get leeches all over their body? That's the only reason. That's my only reference to leeches.
African Queen. No, I haven't seen that.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. Big ones.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like them. But there was a lake in Cape Breton called Leeches Lake. Okay.
I've been there.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
Okay. So I did not know this until like 5 years ago, but we would all go to Leeches Lake to swim, and did not want any leeches on me. 5 years ago, I'm driving by and I actually look at how leeches is spelt. It's not leeches. It's actually after someone's name.
Someone's last name.
And I like, how many decades did I miss enjoying swimming in that darn lake?
Yeah.
Because I thought I was going to get leeches on me. 5 years ago. I still carry the wounds of being nervous and just like up to my knees and checking it out. So maybe not a shark.
Yeah.
Leech.
Yeah.
I think as long as there's something that scares you in the blue depths.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's important.
That's it. That's it.
I was just keeping on with this theme. I was in Belize for my friend's 40th, and we ended up staying in this jaguar reserve where you hike to the top of this mountain. And when we got to the top, it wasn't quite dark, but it was like almost dark. And there was the leader, Jordan, he was like, we got to go fill our water bottles at the waterfall just down the way. So I went with him, and we go down, and we're like, there's this pathway, and we get to this water, like this pond or whatever, I don't know what it's called, and the waterfall. And it's a massive waterfall. And he's like, okay, so let's go. And he jumps into the water and swims across to the rocks, and then he starts filling the water bottle. And I was just like, my whole point of doing this, I was like, Belize, all this stuff. I was like, I'm doing stuff that scares me, that I know is safe, but it scares me. And then, so I jumped in and I was swimming, and I was like, I'm fine. I'm like, oh my God, there's a monster at the bottom. I'm gonna die. And then I'm like, oh, I'm fine. Until it touches you, you're okay. Yeah. And so I swam across, and then the pressure of the waterfall was so intense that I found like my breathing, I couldn't catch my breathing. And then we swam back across when we had the water, and then it was pitch black. And we had to walk back up, and I was like, there are jaguars looking at me right now. There's tarantulas out. Jeez. There are snakes everywhere. And I was like, you need to chill out. Mental talk really messes with us.
That doesn't sound like responsible leadership.
In the end, he was not so responsible about a lot of things. Yeah. But you know, he was my neighbor. He lived down the hall. So I was like, he has got to be fine.
He'll be fine. Oh my goodness.
And so do you have siblings?
I have one sister.
Younger or older?
Older.
Okay, Haley Rose, your film that you just ran through the theater, did a theater run. That's what it's called. Is that based off of your life?
Well, there's some similarities to it, and actually, my sister was the nun in my film.
Oh.
Yeah. She's just
Look at you playing on the words.
I know. Wasn't that fun? Yeah. That was great. Yeah. It was great that she was in it. I mean, I have a mother and a sister and a father. I have a family that grew up in Cape Breton, and I didn't leave town for that reason. I came to Calgary for work. But so there's some similarities in perhaps, like I wanted to kind of show the people that live there and kind of how special they are and how strong they are. So it's an amalgamation of a variety of different stories that have some true and some are not mine. You know what I mean? Like just traumatized of my upbringing. Yeah.
I didn't see any leeches.
Yeah, I'll probably never put a leech in anywhere.
The world would be better without leeches.
Without leeches,
and mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know the point of mosquito.
No, being from Manitoba, no. It's,
Oh my goodness.
There's times of the year, certain years, where you can't even open your window with the screen because the big ones will land on the little ones and push them through the screen, and they break into your house.
No.
And they bite your feet in the night. You have to sleep with socks on. Yeah.
Oh, do socks protect your feet?
It's the last line of defense.
You're like, please give up.
Please, yeah. It's pretty gross. Yeah. But then like last year, so I don't spend it like when we're there. If we're at the beach, it's fine. They don't go to the beach at Lake Winnipeg. But
Really?
back in the woods is where they like to hang out and
Yeah.
munch on you. So that's where our cottage is. And so I don't spend a lot of time like out on the deck or around the campfire because I can't. My mosquito bites last forever. And my mom's like, it's because you didn't grow up here. And so you just have to get used to it and exposed to it. And then I'm like, well, that's not going to happen a week out of the year. So I just don't go outside. I've stepped at the beach. Yeah.
And you don't enjoy any of the other stuff.
Not unless we're like out in an open field where you can like, the wind will blow them away. But if you're in the woods, you're just like. But last year the weather was such that it was kind of a drought year, so there weren't as many. So I could go outside and I was like, oh, it's so lovely.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
Global warming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Extreme weathers. Yeah.
Well, I consider myself a tick magnet.
Oh, really?
Not a tick
I
magnet.
think you're being
but
a bit
tick
like.
A tick magnet.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I once had over 100 ticks on me because we were hiking, and someone in front of me, the person in front of me, walked through a bush, like sort of pulled the bush this way and flung back, and all the ticks, all the ticks landed on me. Just me, no one else, just me. And then someone was going, "Oh my God, look at the rhino!" Turned around and I actually saw her face do this, and I'm like, "What?" And she said, "Your pants are moving."
Got ants in your pants.
I had so many ticks on me. And it's not like I could go anywhere and get them off.
Yeah.
And
What
so,
did you do?
asked every single person around me to help scratch off as many as
Yeah.
possible, and then I had to just keep going. And of course, there's always someone in a crowd who goes, "Oh, you have at least 4 hours before they start." Like they need to get to they started talking to me about.
Yeah, like they like you're getting in your armpits. and
Yeah,
stuff
or like,
that.
you know, where there's like a ridge for your underwear. And so they said, "Oh, you have hours before. You've got no problem." I went, "Thank you. I'll just continue my hike."
Yeah.
And you did.
I did.
Were you going up or down? Is this in the mountains?
No, this was in a plain, like
Okay.
so lower.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was awful. It
Did
was
you
awful.
just start
But
the
it
hike?
happened twice though. Like not in the same place or anything, but it happened twice. And everyone else around me doesn't get a tick.
Mm-hmm.
You're a tick magnet.
I don't know why I'm a tick magnet.
Yeah.
I had an uncle the fellas, all the like fellas of the family decided to go on a hike, and he had like some German ancestry and in the 70s, and he wore, for whatever reason on this hike, his like wool lederhosen.
Aww.
And the ticks were like so attracted to it. So everyone else was like, "What are you even wearing?" And it was all wool, and the it's just like covered in ticks at the end of it all.
And hot and sweaty.
Yeah.
Like what?
But anyway, he
was the only one.
he was the only one.
Someone did say it could be like the texture of the pants and the color.
Do you wear wool pants?
You wear a lot of lederhosen?
Lederhosen?
No,
That's probably it. I
neither.
wanna
But
see a picture
now
of you.
I was
Yeah.
considering it for the next hike,
Right.
but I'm not going to do it now.
I would go the other way.
You know
on
what?
it.
You should try it and see if you get more, or if it's not clothing dependent.
Oh my goodness.
You know what? That would be. I'm going to test that out.
Yeah.
I'm going to test it out. I'm going to chance all that.
Yeah, just roll the dice.
I'm just going to to see what happens, you know.
Oh, no, it's upsetting. It's like worrisome when you get a tick, though. It's like
It is.
I've not seen a tick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never seen one. I don't know what it looks like.
You look kind of like little short-legged spiders.
Oh, I don't like spiders.
Yeah.
We're long-legged. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like long-legged aphids or something, or no?
I was gonna go more along like a long-legged ladybug that was black and small.
Yeah.
Oh, I like ladybugs.
Yeah, it's beetle-ish.
Little
Beetle-y, spidery.
Ah,
Yeah.
I don't know if I like them or not.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Okay, favorite insect, everybody.
Ladybug
Ladybug.
or dragonfly, because they've got a good purpose.
Oh yeah.
Dragonflies get rid of the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think wow, you picked two good ones.
You can have the same ones too if you want. We can be like, insect friends.
I like dragonflies.
Yeah.
I like because they're so colorful. There's, like sometimes they're all these different beautiful colors.
Yes.
They're vibrant.
Super
And those
vibrant.
wings are so pretty, and they just go like.
Yeah.
What do they go like?
I love a chubby bumblebee. I love those fat, fluffy bumblebees.
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah, I saw one the other week, you guys. I'm surprised I didn't get a tick actually from this escapade. So I was like, oh look, look at this fat bumblebee. I better get a video. So I like go off the track and into the woods to get this bee who is like wasted on flowers. Like he's like, and he's so fat and he can't really. He's just like. And so I'm filming him, and my heart is just exploding with joy. And then I turn around, and I'm wearing like flip-flops. I'm not for off-roading at all. And I fall down the hill that I climbed up. Ollie, my fellow, was at the bottom, and he was like, "Are you okay?" Like.
I want to see this in a film. I want to see you walking along, flip flop sound as you're going through, and then down the
I was like, they were like skis. I was like skiing down the side of this like rough brush. And then it became a toboggan ride, like I was on my bot, and I was like,
Are you wearing like shorts or anything? Do you have scrapes everywhere?
no, I don't have scrapes everywhere. I was in my loungiest lounge pants, so
Nice.
yeah, it was really a sight to behold. Yeah.
And how did you regain your composure in front of your fella?
I was like, oh my goodness. That was real, just slippery. And he was like, yeah. And then he was like, he's so good. He was like, did you get a good video? Bumblebee? You're okay?
He's a sweetheart.
Yeah, he just changed the subject, so I didn't feel embarrassed. Looking back now, I'm like, oh. I wish actually it would be one that would be like famous on the internet, for just stupid people falling
Could
down.
have finally made it.
Yeah.
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 You know what? Just get him to film you through the woods
Yeah.
all the time. I'm sure it could be a series.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So that's my favorite insect. Willing to risk it all for footage of a chubby bumblebee.
Well, so we did a sketch back in 2021 in the Sketchy Beavers series that we did. And Meg came on and actually directed our sketch where we were bumblebees.
You were bumblebees.
We had these costumes where we had like these hood things that
You
just
were
showed our
so
faces.
cute.
And these big bumblebee butts that we got from Evergreen's Theater. They let us borrow their costumes.
Yes.
Huge bumblebee butts. And we had to go and make love to flowers.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so cute.
Yeah. And
That was
then
really cute.
3 or 4 weeks later, Saturday Night
Saturday Night
Live
Live stole it.
did a sketch
No.
where a bumblebee had sex with flowers.
Yeah.
They did it better. It was
They
very
did.
funny.
Yeah, they did. They
But,
did,
yeah.
but they definitely, we were like, was that some plagiarism?
Yeah, but now I see why you picked that sketch to direct. You just wanted to be close to the
Yeah,
bumblebee
yeah.
and live the bumblebee life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
you're
I-
a horn dog.
And it was so funny.
Oh man.
Yeah. When Maggie would she would disappear from the shot and then she'd pop back up just like covered in pollen, and it was just so
What did we
funny.
use for pollen?
yellow makeup of some sort. It was like a powder you had. Some kind of yellow, I can't remember, but she had it like just smeared all over her face. It was really
Wasn't
funny.
it chips?
Oh yeah, it was like
chips.
yeah.
We just put chips on her face.
Yellow, yeah.
Well, like nacho chips, or like you mean actual like potato chips?
Potato
Like
chips.
crumbled up yellow potato chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what we
Yeah.
used.
Yeah.
Anyhow, what's your favorite potato chip flavor?
There you go.
Ooh, we're getting to know Sandy Summers, the deep dive.
Yeah.
Spicy ketchup.
Spicy ketchup. That's
Yes.
very Canadian, mixed with a bit of flair,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is Canada the only place you can get ketchup chips?
I think.
Oh, geez.
That's the thing.
That's-
Whenever I
that's too
traveled, it was like
bad.
there was no ketchup chips. In the States, they're always like, Canada, ketchup chips. Wow. And
I don't know if I knew
carriages,
that.
horses and carriages.
Yeah.
Spicy ketchup.
Spicy ketchup.
Brand, do you have a favorite?
Miss Vicky spicy ketchup.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know who else has a
Yeah.
spicy
Who
ketchup.
does the spicy? I always think like that ketchup is the most obvious chip flavor.
You would think it's
Like
French
because
fries and
it's
ketchup.
yeah, and it's like a potato and you
And
know,
ketchup.
you would think that those would go that would be an obvious,
Obvious, yeah.
one.
Not jalapeno cheddar.
Not as much.
Potato jalapeno, that's what I think.
Yeah.
There's some really weird flavors.
Yeah, or like lime.
I like the lime.
They're delicious,
Yeah.
but that's not my first
Yeah.
No.
I think
instinct
it's
on
'cause
a
it's
potato.
like Mexican. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you get those chips with the
Yeah.
lime flavor.
Yeah.
Look at
Guacamole.
you making all these connections.
Yeah.
That's what I do. It's
Potatoes.
literally my only gift.
The cultural heritage of potato chip flavors.
I love
Yeah.
potatoes though. My favorite food by far. What's your favorite potato chip?
My favorite potato chip. It's I think also a Miss Vicky's. Their sweet chili
Oh, I've seen them.
sweet chili something.
It's like a red package.
yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm gonna go like of all time because they don't make them anymore. Orion's sour cream and onion ripple chips. Like, are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Okay, but also, do you remember those? But they did a sour cream and bacon. I know you're
Yes.
vegan.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
sour cream. This
Yeah.
is pre-vegan.
Yeah.
This is like,
I remember getting 75 cents for raking the lawn and going to buy those chips.
okay, so I used to go,
Yeah.
my neighbors and I had this money club.
That sounds weird.
Okay.
I may have exploited my neighbors who got an allowance and I didn't. We would go down in their basement and they had like, they had like stuff everywhere, but they had this like bar that was not in use anymore. And there was a piece of the floor that you could pull out and we would put our coins there. And then we put it back in and shove it in, right? And so then when we had enough money, we'd get on our bikes, which kids don't do today. My kids don't anyhow. You just get on your bikes with your money, go to 7-Eleven, and we buy Slurpees and a bag of Orion's sour cream and onion chips.
Yes.
And then we would go to George Moss Park and we would hide in the bushes by the tennis court. I don't know why we had to do this ritual.
Yeah.
And we would go in there and sit there and we would eat the chips. And I would always take more chips than the other kids because they were like, they were so trusting.
Yeah.
But also I was bigger than them, so it made sense that I
Yeah.
should eat more.
Yeah.
And then and it was almost always their money. I'd sometimes bring in a dime or a nickel, and I didn't feel bad because I got chips out of it. Which now that I'm saying all of this, I'm like, this is the root of everything wrong with me. Oh, they're so good. Because if I got the chips with my brothers, I didn't get any. Oh, and we would call
Right.
the bag too, which my kids do. We call crumbs. As soon as you open the bag, my kids will be like, crumbs. And so you can eat all the chips, but then somebody gets to stick their finger in there and get
Okay.
all the corner bits and the flavor.
Yeah. When I was in junior high school, that microwave popcorn, they sold it at the canteen or whatever. And so there would be kids who would just eat microwave popcorn for lunch. But then at the end, it would be like, you want some bag? And they would rip the bag and lick the bag.
We used to use our nails and we'd scrape the nails into
Yeah.
that buttery coating,
Yeah.
whatever it was, and then eat.
It's like toxic waste. But
So
yes.
gross.
Bag? Do you want some bag?
You want some bag?
what?
Yeah, baby. You know I
Yeah,
do.
bring it
Give me
over.
some bag.
Yeah. Would you pay for that? Like 15 cents?
I had to make out with him for 5 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Healthy upbringing.
Yeah. Well, it's true though. Like kids these days, they don't have that kind of like freedom really to just
They have a different freedom.
to roam the streets and
Oh, I thought you
ride
meant
their
to lick
bikes
bags.
and lick the
to,
bag
like,
and
call
yeah.
crumbs.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, crumbs.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Kids today don't call crumbs. What do they? What do they do?
They just let it go.
It's
It's just
what a
like, that's waste.
What a waste.
Yeah.
We don't need it. It shows lack when you have to get all the little bits.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But there's a different freedom, though, with the phones. There's a freedom of information and of, like, you know, they have so much exposure to so much stuff.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, that's probably my biggest stress as a parent is like trying to limit or focus it. And it's like just a waste of my time completely.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not there yet because Susanna doesn't have a.
Yeah, but we're getting there. It feels
Yeah.
like we're right on the crest of
What
that.
age does that happen at?
She's 12. So, yeah.
Do her friends have phones?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a joke though,
Yeah.
because my kids, their friends had phones at 5 years old. Because at kindergarten, they were taking the school bus and their parents needed to be able to get a hold of them, or they should be able to get a hold of their parents. And it's just like, what are you talking about? Your kid does not need a phone at 5 years old, especially like a smartphone that is basically a computer. But my kids, I would probably never give them a phone, but my ex at 14 gets them a phone. So it's like grade 9, right
Yeah.
before high school. In high school, you kind of do need the phone.
Yeah.
It's kind of integrated into the education and even the sports. Like my second son made the soccer team, and then he's like, "Mom, I have to get Snap." I'm like, "You're not getting they're not supposed to have any social media," which is a joke too, because his best friend sends him TikToks over Messenger, and then he can watch it. It's like we're so smart and like limiting. But then they feel like I think they're getting away with something, and it's not as bad. But anyhow, he had to get Snap because all the soccer players had it, and that's how they chatted about who was where they're gonna meet, and if they're gonna take the LRT, or who's driving, all this stuff. So then we had to have a talk about Snapchat, which I don't have. Well, I didn't have, and now I have it. Have you guys played with it?
No.
I basically just use filters and make silly faces with like cat faces, or like sometimes I get like the Viking head with this big beard, and I'm like, "Ugh." And then so we just send pictures back probably 4 times a day, and I don't know. I think it's so fun, but I'm like, I have no idea what he's talking about with his friends because it's gone.
Yeah.
As soon as you look at it, it's gone, which is so dangerous in my head, but also have to kind of trust and hope and
Yeah.
let them figure it out because it's not going away. Do you use a lot of social media?
Mostly Instagram.
Yeah.
That's about it. I have a Facebook, but not there a lot. But what I have is great friends who text me and go, "Oh, you have to go check out this thread."
Right.
Right. Yes.
And then I go check out the thread. Yeah. But I love Instagram. I love looking at pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it too. And then I have a group of friends from when I did Upright Citizens Brigade. So I have a friend in the Bay Area, San Francisco, Seattle, New York. And we have and actually one is in Istanbul, Turkey. And we just kind of, if we see something funny, we send it. Like I send you stuff sometimes that's like mother related or something. And so we'll just send it to this group and we watch it, and it's just hysterical. Like it's the stuff, the jokes, the comedy.
Yeah.
There's so many amazing. I think I'm probably in that algorithm, so I just see a lot of it. My friend out in Montreal, she started getting all of these animal ones, and she
Yeah.
keeps sending me like cat things and dog things and all this. And I'm like, you're gonna mess up my algorithm. And then I started getting
know.
birds and
Yes. Yes.
panda bears.
I had to do I tried to figure out like an algorithm cleanse. I kept getting a lot of like medical stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to see this. So I like blocked a bunch of hashtags so that I wouldn't get those things. And then I just started like searching out and like seeking and interacting with like knitting content just so that I can get that stuff.
Knitting is medical because you're thinking about an age demographic of people that knits is going to be medical.
But it's not. All the most
I
of the
know,
stuff is
like my
but
kids knit as well.
Yeah.
Like it's not, but typically you're thinking
Yeah.
these people are in their 80s
Yeah.
or whatever.
And they all have broken hips or something.
Yes.
Like it's, anyway, that's what I was getting was this like, and I was like, why is this coming my way? So anyway, I had to block #hospital visit.
Also, maybe when you're talking around your phone,
Yeah.
you're like fuzzy bunny,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
bumblebees, bumblebees,
Yeah,
bumblebees.
bumblebees.
I get two that I don't know why I get them because I get babies a lot, like young kids that do stupid things.
Oh, they're so funny.
I get baking, like icing cakes.
Oh.
I get them all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to because I don't have kids, and I definitely don't bake, and
Yeah.
I definitely don't do cakes. So it was the weirdest thing of why that was that they are everywhere in my reels,
Yeah.
and I think it's because if a baby's doing something cute, you just watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's if you pause on it.
Exactly.
And how long you pause on it for affects your algorithm.
Exactly, and I guess for some reason I pause on the amazing cake makers
It
out
is.
there.
Yes.
It's fascinating though, especially if you don't do it, because you're like, how do you do this?
No,
Yeah.
I'm just like, watching them make a little rose and sticking it on something, and in like 1 second, I'm like, what?
Yes.
So that's what
Yes.
that's what comes to me, and I find it fascinating. I'm not getting rid of it because I
Yeah.
don't want some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
So I am happy to just look at kids falling and
Yeah.
trying to walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, cakes being made in the most amazing ways.
Yes.
People are so creative.
They are so creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many worlds, don't you find? Like, I feel like, personally, I'm involved in like hockey world, soccer world, school world, acting world, stand-up world, improv. Like, there's so many worlds in my world, and then you go on Instagram, and you're like, I don't even understand. I get a lot of like swing dancing, like improvised swing dancing. I love it so much, and I'm like, I need to go take swing dance lessons because I actually would love that. But then you have to like find time for that. Anyhow, I find you kind of get opened up to all these things that you didn't even realize were things, and people, if you're not exposed to it, they think that their thing everybody's doing. Like I found that like it's polarizing in one way because everybody thinks that everybody's seeing what they're seeing, but it's so enlightening in another way because you're seeing stuff you never would be exposed to if it's interacting or like giving you new exposure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Absolutely it is. One that I like that has started coming my way is like thrifters. I love going to the thrift store, and then I love seeing like the wacky junk other people pick up too. I'm like, yes, show me that stuff. I get a lot of that, which is good. That's one I keep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder though how you even get these new ones to come your way to even see other things.
Yeah.
That's wild, eh?
Yeah.
I wonder if it is like a lot of people say it's what you say around your phone, right? And then it's like picking up things that you say, or maybe you say often when the app is open or something like that. And it just kind of like goes, oh, she keeps saying, because when you talk about something, then that ad comes up over and over again.
Yes.
I bet it's the same kind of.
Yes. Well, I also know that it has to do with proximity of your phones. So like when I'm hanging around with
you gotta
certain
watch
people,
your phone friends.
then like for example, if I'm hanging around with Ollie, I'll get Canadian Tire ads, and he'll get like Sephora ads, and he's like, it knows that you're here, and it's telling me to go shopping for you.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah,
you have
so
to
it's
be-
weird.
So you really have to be conscious about your phone friends.
It totally knows where you are. Like it would know that we're all hanging out together.
Can you
It
imagine?
knows.
Like somebody comes on your phone and you have to be like, no, I was with this person today. That's why my ads are all messed up.
Yeah.
Or like, who have you been hanging out with? I see there's Canadian Tire ads coming up.
Yeah.
You know?
Extra reason for jealousy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Checking out your ads. Where you
Yeah.
been today?
Checking out your ads. I'm not checking out where you were. I'm checking out what ads you're getting.
Yeah. Who have you been in cahoots
Who
with?
are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes so much sense, actually. Now
Yeah.
that something happened recently, I can't remember what it was, but I remember thinking, like, why am I getting this ad? Because this is, like, this would be for someone else.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you find it scary?
Yeah.
A little bit. Like sometimes I think like, what like, why do you need to know so much about us? I do kind of, and also, I'm really worried about cash. I want us to be able to still use like cash dollars.
Yeah.
But the farther we get away, like if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. So we have to like still use cash.
Because then it's all of a sudden everything
Everything is totally
computerized
tracked.
and tracked.
And I want to be able to buy my Orion's potato chips with coins.
And without people judging.
Yeah.
Right?
And then without getting a
Holding
bunch
it.
of ads for them that then make me maybe feel guilty.
And then your friends find out because your phone's right next to each
And
other.
they're like, what
why
kind
am I
of
getting
potato chips are
So
you
now
eating?
I'm going to start learning about Orion. I've never even heard about Orion's before.
It's so old that they don't make it anymore.
It was an old brand.
It was amazing because it was like it was so thick and rippled. So then all of the like sour cream and would like stick to it. It was like thick.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
And I think this is probably a good time for us to talk about your career because we have like 2 minutes left.
We could,
So.
but I grew up with potato chips. My
But
I did. This is going back.
Yeah.
But it's because my father was a rep for a potato chip company. So I grew up with as much chips as I ever wanted.
Right.
did you find that UK? This is my question with exposure, right? How often should I let my kids have junk food, or should I just let it run free? Do you find that you ate a ton of them, or were you kind of like, it's there all the time and I'll have it when I feel like it because I'm not bothered for potato chips?
I would probably say we ate them a lot, but I never got tired of it. But it's not like I ate them 10 bags a day like that, but
Yeah.
no, it was there, so I just ate them.
And so are you going to do a film about potato chips?
That's my next one. I'm writing it as I sit here
Yes.
right now.
Inspiration. It's
Exactly.
beautiful art.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you working on?
Well, I'm working on couple of other scripts, couple of other features. Myself and I don't know if I'm the female version of him or if he's the female of me, but Corey Lee. So we got some development funding from Telefilm to write another feature.
Oh, great.
So we're in the midst of doing that, which is super fun, writing with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going on, and I'm going to go to Vancouver for a couple of weeks and write.
Oh, nice. That'll be beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you like rent a place and not tell anybody you're there and it's like a specific place, or?
I go to different places all the time to write, and typically I try and my friend's gone away, so I said, I'll go stay at your apartment.
Nice.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
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 Helps to write.
Does it help just being in a different environment that's not your home?
100%. I can actually. I'm hyper vigilant and super if I have to write something, I'll just write it and I'll do it at home, and it's not a problem. But if I can be somewhere else, the Haley Rose. So I went to Leighton Artist Colony about 3 times, and they have a boat there. One of the studios at the Leighton Artist Colony is a boat. So every time I applied and I get in, I said I'd want the boat. And it's a small boat. It's a boat that would have been used in Nova Scotia. So I wrote the whole script in a boat. But I tell you, the day that I applied for Leighton Artist Colony, that I didn't need to write this, I said anything but the boat.
Right.
I got super tired of it.
Yeah.
It was and it's just so small and just
Yeah.
I'm writing in a boat. It's super helpful because my film's about a boat. Then it was open. I need to expand into no boats.
Yeah.
Every sentence is boat in it.
Boat. Boat. I am in a boat.
Hey, Scott, I think the script's ready.
Boat.
Let's get to production.
Exactly. Please, I don't want to be in a boat.
Please, can we just film this quickly? I need it out of me. Amazing.
Exactly.
And so when do you anticipate that being kind of out of you guys and onto the page?
Well, we have a deadline for the end of this month.
Oh.
But we've been working on it for a while. It's not like so yeah, we've been working on it a while.
Yeah.
Is it about 2 comedians? And it's about two.
It's
two
about a
women.
bumblebee.
That's my next one. It's actually about 2 bumblebees who want to be comedians. But every time
Want
they
to
see,
be. Aw.
but every time they see a flower, they just keep wanting to make love with it more.
They can't get to the comedy.
They
'cause
can't
there's
get to
too
the
much
comedy
love.
because of the love.
I could see that happening.
Yes,
to be honest,
yeah.
Tale as old as time.
Well, I think that's a great place to end it. Thank you so much for coming and being part of this.
Yeah, what a treat.
Love.
Yeah, it's
Lovely,
lovely getting
lovely.
to know you.
Yeah, you
and
too.
sharing that with everybody. So, yeah, I don't know, you have anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. I'm just so
Awesome.
thrilled we got to do this.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
too. It was
Yeah.
a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Usually I hug the person, like last season I hugged people. We were on a couch.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like now
This
I can
is
do
kinda like-
a full
well,
butt shot. Let's
like-
do one of these.
Oh,
yeah.
this is just so beautiful.
Wait, we can do it.
And we got to give our face to the camera. There you go.
Oh, it's just lovely. Thank you.